tell me a little bit about, your career and how you first got your foot in the door? What was your first opportunity within the industry itself?
So I'm gonna go back to the first question because I actually didn't finish it, which is my fault. I cut it short, but because I said that journey started at 7 years old. So my parents saw that knack and love I had for cameras. So for my high school graduation, they bought me a $400, which was expensive at that time because it's back in 2000, a high video cassette video camera. And I guess you could say it was surgically attached to my hand because I literally took it any and everywhere with me. Even went to clubs with friends because I'm just a teenager, so I was going to clubs with my friends with the video camera. They're looking at me like, "Why you got a video camera with you?" I was like, "Well, I just want to record." Um, but I literally just wanted to capture images, not necessarily having a story behind it, not having an agenda, but just like filming everything. And all I could do at that time was go back and plug in those AV cables in the back of the TV, hit rewind to rewind the tape all the way to the beginning, and then just play it back. And ironically, I couldn't watch my own footage because I suffer from vertigo. So, that was before technology and in-camera stabilization and all that kind of stuff. So 60p video back then was very shaky, and it's like I could not look at it for too long because I'll literally get dizzy and get a headache. So the missing piece of the puzzle didn't actually come until maybe several years later when I was hired at Apple. I was hired at Apple Corporate. And that's when I was introduced to the world of Macs and also ultimately the world of video editing. So once I incorporated video editing, it was like the light bulb went off and I was like, oh my God, this is the missing piece of the puzzle. Have all these cassette tapes that really didn't have an agenda or story to tell, but now that I've introduced video editing, now I can manipulate the footage and I can tell stories, or I can put into play of what I'm imagining. And literally, it was just going back and revisiting all those old videos and literally telling a story with it. So that was kind of like the aha moment for me with the video and then video editing. They just meshed together. And it was just like, oh, I can tell stories now. So then I just started being intentional. And this journey started, I would say 2009 is when I officially started my business. So here's the 7 again. So on my birthday, July 21st, 2009, I went and got my BBA. So that's when Amaz1n Entertainment Productions, which it was called before, was born. So those first 2 years, 2009, 2010, it was a lot of freelancing, a lot of figuring things out and getting the process down, a lot of trial and error. I was literally just going to rent out equipment and stuff like that, and then just setting up a camera, doing like mock interviews with strangers, just joggers, whoever happened to be in the area. Like, hey, do you mind answering a few questions? So it's just taking what I learned from that, and then like just applying that. Okay, let me take what I've learned, all the trial and error, now let me start putting that into play. Then I start knocking on the doors of venues and event planners and things like that. I was just like, hey, this is me and this is what I do. Can I come film your event and things like that? And I received so many no's because everybody's just like looking at me like, who are you? What organization are you with? Like, oh, Amaz1n Entertainment Productions. Like, I just started, so nobody know who I was. I didn't even know who I was back then. But it was a bunch of no's, but I was very persistent. I just kept going. And my very first celebrity interview was with Kevin Hart in 2010. He was on the Laugh at My Pain tour at that time. And after I did that interview and posted it on YouTube, it's just like all those no's start turning to yeses. So I explored with South by Southwest Hotel. That was my first big event that I covered, South by Southwest 2011, because that's in my home city, Austin. And it just took off from there. People saw my natural ability because I would literally go film weeks worth of stuff and then I'll condense it all into like a 5-6 minute video, a highlight reel, just showcasing just the highlights of that entire week. And I'll put some funk behind it, put some music on it, put my vibe on it. And people just love the editing, and because I will make the edits go to the beat of the music and things like that. And once again, making the lyrics line up to what people were actually seeing. And then, of course, I would take it to the event planners, and they were just like, wow, this is really good. Like, can we hire you to come do our event next year, or we have an event later on this year? And it kind of just started from there. So people start seeing the work because everybody can see your love and passion like in your work. You don't have to say anything. Your work does the speaking for you. So that's kind of what it was. And Amaz1n Entertainment Productions just started taking off from there. We became kind of like a publication, a video production company, started diving into photography. So this started adding more and more to the skill set.
How so we definitely want to know, how did you end up interviewing Kevin Hart?
Well, no, I'm very resourceful. Very resourceful. I'm probably one of the most ambitious people you will ever meet. So I'm solution oriented. So it's just like I will find a way to get it done. Like whatever it is, I will get it done. Trust me. And when it came to celebrities and things like that, I would literally do my research and research, who their manager is or, what company's representing them. And I would start there, just Google them and then find the phone number, call that office, like, hey, I'm trying to do an interview with Kevin Hart. I'll be very formal. So it'll just be like not a long email, but a descriptive email showing, who I am, what it is I'm wanting to do, and just the questions. And then, they'll see the professionalism in that email or that initial contact. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is his road manager. Contact this person. And then, I would make that contact. They would either answer or not. But it's just like, if they didn't answer, then I'll follow up via email. And then, ultimately I'll get a response back. And it would just turn into an interview. So it was a phone interview. I initially wanted it to be on in person, but his travel schedule was delayed because he was still in Houston when he was supposed to be in Austin. So this is like, he's going to be coming in hot. He's going to be running late for a show, actually. So let's just do it while he's on the tour bus. So that was good enough for me because I was like, it's Kevin Hart. His star power is growing at the time. But yes, I literally used my researching skills, and not just Google, but other avenues, even my circle, because I built a great network of prominent people. Because I know we'll get into that, but doing what I do has allowed me into these great big circles because I've been in every event such as the BET Awards, Essence Festival, South by Southwest. Even covered Barack Obama, had access to him every time he flew into Austin on Air Force One. So, I'm a networker also. So it's just like I wouldn't just use my access to just film, but I would also be, making contact with all these prominent people. Not so much the celebrities themselves, but it's like I look for the people running the show behind the scenes. And people usually don't know. It's like it's not the celebrities themselves; it's their managers, and it's like those are the people I talk to.